This is an emergency video, and this looks terrible. Bitcoin is down massively, almost 7% for the day, ladies and gentlemen. We're down across the board. Everything looks horrific. Ethereum is down 4%. Solana is down 7%. BNB and many other altcoins are down massively. A huge red day. We predicted this. However, I'm not going to do a victory lap, ladies and gentlemen. Behind all of these red and green candles are actual real people with real lives, with real dreams. I did try my best and warn everyone that this will happen. However, everyone got very bullish and wanted to bet and gamble on this time is different. As many of you are aware, I bought at the Pika bottom, I sold at the top, and I said to everyone, get out while you can. But you didn't want to listen to me, and unfortunately we've retraced everything and some more just to help you out along your way, ladies and gentlemen. I know some of you just need a little support and a little help. If we do not close above 67,000 US dollars, the next confluence is at $65,800. If that doesn't happen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to snow dive to 63,000 US dollars and then ultimately retest the previous lows of 59,996. Many participants, I'm talking about the boomers, the younger generation, whoever, if you are not equipped and experienced in these full-year cycles, you will get wrecked. And every single cycle, they come in and they try to fight, and every single time the full-year cycle is undefeated. If we look at the historical patterns from previously, June has actually been one of the worst monthly red candles, ladies and gentlemen. In the previous cycle, we dropped a massive amount. From the very top to the bottom, we dropped all the way to around 45% just in the previous bear market in 2022. In the 2018 bear market, right over here, ladies and gentlemen, we dropped as well. We closed red. This month, ladies and gentlemen, no real secret, we're going to drop again. We're already down massively from the very peak to the trough. This is the beginning of the month. We're down 10%. The $1 million question is, will we sweep the lows by the end of the month? Are we going to sweep the lows? There's a lot of sharks in the water, ladies and gentlemen, and there's going to be a lot of fear. Sentiment is already in the mud already. If we close below these key confluence areas, then sentiment is going to get far worse. I've predicted this week on week, ladies and gentlemen, and I think we're going to retest the highs before we retest the lows. Some of the biggest misconceptions is a bottoming process. A lot of folks just think, surely if this is cheap, then this is the bottom. And every single time they step in thinking, okay, this is the bottom, guys. And it's never the bottom. This is the bottom, and it's never the bottom. A real bottom in Bitcoin's history, ladies and gentlemen, has been when something significant happens. Either a recession, either some sort of major catastrophic news has always marked the bottom. That is when we form a true bottom. We had a bottom in the very first bear market, and that was Mt. Gox. Then we had another bottom, and it had to do with China of some sort and the COVID lows. We had a bottom, FTX crash, and this time, ladies and gentlemen, it will be Michael Saylor. He will be the sacrificial lamb that crypto needs. Ethereum has broken down its parallel channel, ladies and gentlemen, and it's gone down a whopping 23% so far. For the daily, it's not doing as bad, ladies and gentlemen, because Bitcoin has gone down roughly, give or take 6%, while Ethereum has gone down by 4%, which is a good sign. Now, if it doesn't hold, ladies and gentlemen, then we're going to head to this area at 1800. If that doesn't hold, ladies and gentlemen, the most confluence is at 1500, so 1559, and then ultimately the previous selling climax was at 1382. Ethereum in the previous bear market right over here was a massive monthly red candle. Right over here from peak to trough, we went down a whopping 55%. My personal opinion is different, ladies and gentlemen, and you know why. Just watch my previous videos, you'll really like it. And I did explain that I don't think it's going to form a new low, ladies and gentlemen, just yet. Crypto is a game of boom and busts. We've seen this many times, almost 4 cycles. This is another bear market, and during a bear market, most of the crypto goes down 80 to 90%. And this is actually needed in the industry. This is actually where all the filth, all the speculation, all the scams, all of them go down to zero. And then, ladies and gentlemen, the real projects with real fundamentals and real use cases emerge bigger, stronger, and better.